Hi, I'm Kathy and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be guiding you through a postnatal sequence to help strengthen the back. Let's begin. An optional prop for this class would be a folded blanket or a folded towel. We'll use that a bit later. Now this is a postnatal sequence focused on strengthening the spine. During pregnancy, the spine shifts a lot. The curves of the spine become a lot deeper, and there's a lot of reorganizing of the spine to support a growing uterus, to support your belly. Now, after birth, all that has to get reorganized, so the back becomes very vulnerable. And added to that, you're carrying baby a lot, you're feeding baby a lot, and a lot of this causes a caving in action to happen, which can weaken the muscles of the back that are already vulnerable after birth and after pregnancy. This sequence will bring awareness to that spine and to the spinal area and to strengthen that, to give you some more support so that you're not so sore in the back. I do remember those days being very, very sore in the back. So this is actually not just stretching, but strengthening and stabilizing that area. Begin in Advasana on your belly with the forearms underneath the forehead. So you're on your belly here, but there's still some space for the chest. Forearms underneath the forehead, rest forward, relax the shoulders. Then you can let the heels drop out naturally, toes come in, rest here. So there's no strengthening happening in this pose. This pose is mostly for rest so that you can release those back muscles before we begin to work them. Stay there for a few breaths, breathe naturally, and feel your belly rise and fall. Notice how it presses into the mat when you inhale and how it releases on the exhale. A couple more breaths in this posture. Release through the forehead, lift the head slightly, and bring the hands down to the side with the fingertips by the chest. So your chest is not resting on the floor, especially if you're breastfeeding, that could be uncomfortable. And now engage through the feet. So the feet are not, the heels aren't turned out anymore now. You're bringing the toes behind the hips, tops of the feet on the mat. And this is a baby cobra. Send the elbows back and you'll feel the strengthening happening in this pose. Send the elbows back towards the waist. You can even lift the hands and that'll feel a little more intense, but we're just beginning, so you may want to just stay here. And then release forward, soften. Inhale, lift up once again. Heart comes forward, shoulders back, elbows back towards the hips. Open in the chest, soften the glutes, extend through the feet, and release forward. This time, bring your elbows underneath the shoulders to rest in Sphinx pose. Now the elbows right underneath the shoulders, that line is important for stability and for alignment. And then the palms are facing down. If you look down at your forearms, they look like a number 11. And bring the heart through the arms. Now this you'll feel more in your lower spine. But I'd like you to relax a bit in this pose. So not so much for strengthening here, but more for a release. Soften the chin forward and relax through the neck. Rotate from side to side. Exhale on the way down. Inhale on the way up. The neck is often tense too. because of all the feeding and carrying. Pause at the center. Now bring the forearms in front of the chest again, with the forehead resting on the forearms. Rest here in Advasana. Let the heels relax. A few breaths. Extend through the legs again. Re-engage through the feet and bring the hands by your side as if you're coming into baby cobra. But now take the arms to the side completely with the fingertips pointing down to the earth. On the inhale, extend, lift the heart off of the mat. You can keep the fingertips on the floor or lift them off the floor. And then if you'd like to add some more, lift the feet off of the mat as well. Extend the crown of the head forward and extend the toes back. So instead of thinking of going vertical up, think of moving in a horizontal way. Shoulders drop down towards the waist, and you'll start to feel all the warmth through the spine on this one, locust pose. A couple of breaths here. Notice as the shoulders start to creep up, guide them down towards the waist. And release. Bring those forearms underneath the forehead and rest forward. Soften through the legs, soften through the feet. Move the hips from side to side. Come back to stillness. And now return to locust, so that baby cobra position to start. Extend through the feet, relax the glutes. And you can go back to what we just did, or you can take a bind. And this is going to open the chest and shoulders and strengthen the spine. So the bind would be palms together, interlace the fingers behind the spine or the lower back. And now extend the chest up for the bind and lift through the feet. So if this isn't working, you can come back to the other position we tried. Modify however you like today. Lengthen through the crown of the head, extend through the toes, the legs. Feel the back strengthen. One more breath. And release, soften the hands, soften through the arms, and either bring the palms underneath the forehead or the forearms and move the hips from side to side. You can also lift the feet and windshield wiper the legs. Relax through the legs, come back into a still position and bring the palms by the chest to lift up onto the knees and onto the palms and onto all fours. Readjust the knees and readjust the hands. If you're on a hard surface like I am and you'd like some extra padding, you can use your blanket here for that extra padding underneath the knees. Cat and cow, moving through cat and cow. It's not necessarily a strengthener, but it really does help to open the spine a lot. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, round back. Release through the tailbone. Perhaps even rock back into the heels for a rocking cat-cow. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, flex back. Move at your pace and with your breath. Stay aware of the sensations in your spine. Notice the warmth around the back. pause here on all fours and come into child's pose balasana. Knees together, feet together. Now in prenatal we had the knees apart. And that feels great too, that you can continue with that, but because now you can bring the knees together, this is a different feeling in this child's pose, and it does relieve a lot of back pain, or it does stretch the back in a different way, so you may want to try it. Come forward. Lean over. Now if the head is not coming all the way down to the mat, or it just feels like it's hanging there, like it needs some more support, you can stack fists underneath the forehead. Send the tailbone down to the heels. Breathe fully. Extend your breath. Soften through the hands. Gently roll up through the spine. Knees are together, heels are together. If you had the knees apart, you can bring them together now. And coming into another strengthening posture or sequence, half plank. Now I do recommend half plank instead of full plank until you know that your abdomen is completely healed after birth. Now onto all fours. Bring the palms a little bit forward, shift forward, and send the tailbone down towards the heels. So now you have a flat back. Make sure to readjust the arms as much as possible. This is a half plank position. You're still getting a lot of strength through the arms, and there's still engagement through the core, but there's more support as the spine reorganizes. And this is also strengthening the spine. So coming back onto all fours, move forward into half plank. The chest is broad here. The collarbones are broad. Open through the shoulders. Send that tailbone down towards the heels and lengthen your spine. If you'd like to add half chaturanga, perhaps you take a micro bend in the elbows as the elbows shift back, and then take it back and onto all fours towards the heels. Stretch. Let's try that again. Inhale forward, half plank. Still stay with the breath. Tailbone comes down towards the knees, towards the heels, so you have that long spine. You either take the micro bend or you take a half bend. That's a lot more strengthening. Inhale, extend, exhale, back. Now there is a tendency to collapse forward when you're trying to build that strength. So it might be easier just to keep a micro bend than to go halfway and have the shoulders come forward. So just make sure that you're aware the chest is wide as you lower halfway down. So you're keeping that strength. Inhale, exhale, back. So you feel that in the arms as well, which is good because that helps to build strength for holding baby. Inhale forward. Bring the shoulder blades down towards the waist. Shift forward, tailbone down towards the knees. Lower down halfway. Inhale, mindful as you do these transitions. Exhale, back. Back onto all fours. And of course, you can do many more if you'd like. But I do remember postnatal how I felt. And it's hard to extend a lot of energy when you're caring for a baby. Now bring the knees out wide, big toes touch. Sit back into the heels and rest here. So this is a gentle child's pose. You can go back to with the knees together, but I wanted to give the option of a gentle child's pose before we end the practice. Now you can stay on the palms, on the forearms, or all the way down on the forehead. Walk the hands back towards the knees, roll up in the spine, sit on the heels and bring the knees close together. Come into a comfortable seat, either seated on your blanket or a pillow, something beneath you, and an easy seated pose. So you can have one shin in front of the other or bottoms of the feet together, even one leg extended. A gentle twist on your seat. And the twisting will also help with strengthening the spine and stretching out those areas that are tense. Inhale the hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Twist over to your left side. Bring one hand around or your right hand across the body. Bring it around to the opposite knee. Look over your left shoulder. On the inhale, extend up through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, rotate in the spine. Now still keeping a gentle twist postnatal. So even though you don't have belly anymore, you're still healing the abdomen. So you want to keep that integrity until you know you're completely healed. If you are healed and you don't have diastasis, then you can twist a bit deeper. A couple more breaths in this twist. Slowly unwind, release, look forward, bring the head forward. Inhale, hands up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Twist in the opposite direction. Look over your right shoulder this time. Extend on the inhale. Twist on the exhale. One more breath in this twist. Gently release, shoulders forward, head forward, and then back through center. Place the hands around the knees. Close the eyes or soften your gaze. Notice your breath. And take 3 deep breaths in and out. Breathe naturally. And observe the space around the spine, the upper back, middle back, and lower spine. Notice how it feels. Place the hands at the heart to seal in your practice today, and gently open the eyes if they're closed. I thank you for practice with me. I thank you for allowing me to guide you.